Hello, hello. I had a good night's sleep and we are back with some modeling. We can see we got the model here. Um, and the last thing we did was model the nose. So we had some more definition on the nose. And today we are going to make the mouth sac and the eyes. So I'm not talking the eyeballs, but just the eyes. Or whatever you can call it around the eyes, the skin around the eyes, or something like that. When I look at the model now, just to sometimes when I model, I like to try and look at the model from a fresh view. So it's always nice when you just had some sleep, then you can see the model and you can kind of see the mistakes that you made and you can correct them. So when I look at the model right now, I can see that this edge should probably, I'm just gonna move it now actually. I think to give it a more nice edge flow, I will move it a bit. And also, I think maybe these edges should be a bit more inwards. Um, because all of these things is gonna be nice in the end. Then you can really see what's going on. There's also some stuff here I would like to change. I'm not totally happy with the spread of the edges. So let's see how it looks. I'll probably change a bit more up here. So now this has been quite a long tutorial. The reason why is it took a lot longer than I had expected, but I also think it's a nice idea that you get the whole thing and that I don't speed it up or cut it out. That's the way I have been making my tutorials. I don't really want to change that because I think it's a good way, but of course the tutorials gets a bit long. But you know what, I think that's fine. So right now I'm just working on the cheek and the way it flows into the nose, because I feel like it could be better. I'm just doing this stuff before we move on to the mouse sac and stuff. You want to change as much as possible before you add details. So if you can change stuff, you should really do it. You shouldn't postpone it. So we might see some errors later on when we merge the two meshes into one. But for now, I think we're gonna leave it. I don't want that hard of an edge here, so I think this is better. Let's check our reference. Okay, it's really hard to see anything on that reference. Okay, so let's just leave it at that, and I'm now gonna hide the one side by hitting Control H, so we can see the inside of the head. And I would like to extrude them off, so I select one edge and then the last edge, double click on the last edge to select all of them, and then I'm gonna extrude inwards. And probably I'm gonna scale it a bit up and down. So I'm just gonna select the lower ones and pull them down, and also the top ones. pull them a bit up. So this might give some extra work on some places. So I am considering to make tutorials about how to model teeth and gums, and also the eyeballs and eyelashes. Just because I think it's nice to know. So it would be nice for you guys to know it as well. And you would obviously, if you were going to make this model and sculpt it and rig it, you would need gums and of course eyeballs. But eyeballs are pretty easy. So I'm just doing this roughly. It doesn't have to be that perfect. There's a work outside of my windows. I'm just gonna pull down the curtains. I don't want him watching me making a tutorial. By the way, I had a good night's sleep, so I'm fresh and happy. I'm just ready to get this tutorial done, I guess you can say. So I think I'm just gonna go to faces and select these faces and delete them. And I'm doing that because sometimes it might, when you use the smooth tool, it has trouble smoothing the edges. So just to not spend too much time trying to smooth the edges, I just deleted them. And now I'm gonna scale this inwards to make it more straight and clean. Like so. And I think that's our mouth sack. So I can see now that the lips are a bit weird in the corner. But it's not too big of a deal. I think that I would like to drag this edge a bit more down, just to make the mouth a bit more closed. And also this edge should be a bit more up. And then this line of edges should be closer, like this probably, and then a bit wider. So let's see how that looks. I think that's fine. So let's show the other shape again by holding Shift Change. Yeah, so I think there are some troubles around the eyes, so I would really like to start working on those now. And the cheeks. So what I like to do is to create a sphere. and then roughly place it as an eye. So I go to the side, front view, and I hit 4. Maybe we should use this eye. So I'm trying to figure out how big would the eyeball be, and I think this size is about right. And then you can kind of, using the pupil, you can place it in the middle. And then you of course want to fit it from the side as well. So maybe it's a bit too big when I look at it. I think it's a bit too big, so I'm just gonna scale it down a bit. If we turn on the X-ray, so this is just gonna be a proxy eye. So it's not the final eyeball, it's just to get a feeling of where the eyeball should be placed. Yes, so I think this is going to be the eyeball. And now I'm just gonna roughly place the vertices so it fits more nicely around the eyeball, or the proxy eyeball. So you can see this is fairly easy. Like so. And then I'm just gonna smooth out the vertices around. Like that. And so there are some different ways to make the eye. Because we want the eye to close and open, it would be a good idea to make the eyelids. So, but since it's it would make more sense to do that if it was a cartoony character that had very big eyes that had to close and stuff. But since it is a human, we will of course make the eyelids, but we won't make them too big. So it will be like okay. I just lost my it's really hard to multitask. So what I was going to say is that we're going to make the eyelids, but we're not gonna make that many subdivisions as you would in a cartoony character. Simply because there's no reason for it when you have small eyes, or it's not small eyes, it's just more realistic. So of course there will be a bit less than a cow with very big eyes. So this is going to be our eyelid. I'm just reorganizing it a bit. And I think actually it should be a bit more wide down here. So what we're gonna do is to add some subdivisions onto the eyelets and give it a bit of form, just by inserting its loop tool. So I'm gonna deselect the corners of the eyes, and then I'm gonna pull it out a bit. So you can see already that it gives a lot more shape to the eye. And I think we're gonna pull this out a bit more. Just because in a lot of cases you have kind of a flap, or not a flap, but you have some loose skin on top of your eye. You can see that we are already achieving that. So let's try to look at the reference, and I'm just gonna hide this. I think we're actually gonna fit it a bit better to this reference, because it's a very nice reference. Again, it's from 3D.sk, and you can download it for free at Polyface, but only because they're such nice people, and they were willing to let us have this for free. How cool is that? So this is a bit confusing, but I'm trying to figuring it out. So you can see that I'm just making the eyelids a bit bigger to shape it. And I'm gonna pull it down as well. So it's always nice to look at the reference, because all the time you will miss stuff and you won't know where to place it. And I really have to learn that as well. So let's take a look. So I feel like it's getting better. But I think something is wrong on the lower lids. It's very funny. So let's try to go to the side view. And make it fit. It's getting there. I'm just gonna smooth it out a bit. Yes, and I'm gonna go to the front view again. I feel like we need a harder edge to define the brow. So right now there's not really a feeling of where the brow is ending or where it is beginning. So that would be a nice thing to add, or maybe just to try and get in these edge loops. But what will happen if we create an edge loop right here? I think we can do that without too much trouble. So I'm just gonna smooth it down here. So I think that could work, but right now this is getting too much inwards, so I want it to go out, and really I want to see the cheekbone. Because it's very important to this character, I feel like. And you can see that we have a sharper edge up here. I think right now it's too sharp probably. So I'm just gonna drag it up. And this edge over here is definitely too sharp. And you can see that sometimes it loses some of, almost all the time it loses some of the volume when you smooth it. So most of the time you will try to get that back by moving the vertices around. I'm gonna use the smooth tool a bit in here as well. Yeah, that's better. So I'm gonna find the picture of the girl again. If I know where I put it. Just because it's nice to look at the reference. Okay, I think I got it in here somewhere. Yes. So if we look at our model compared to this one, if I try to get the right angle, you can see that she has much more outer cheekbones. So we should really try to get that in our model as well to make it more realistic. So I'm just gonna drag this the hell out of there. So now I'm just gonna over exaggerate it a lot, or just try to get the vertices out and get some shape in there, and then later on I'm gonna correct it. So it doesn't look that violent. Is it like a massacre? So it feels like it's getting there, but it's too sharp right now. It doesn't feel like a soft cheekbone. It feels more like a that's better. But now we have a line going down. So I'm just softening it up a bit. Not too much, I don't want to lose all the volume again. And then you can see we already lost a lot of volume there. So I'm just gonna try and pull it out again. So I'm gonna try and slide this edge a bit, and this one as well. And I'm gonna shape the cheekbone a bit more. I feel like it's getting better. It's looking a lot more natural. Just give me a moment. Oops. So I think we can over exaggerate it even more. And you can see this is something that is really hard to see where this cheekbone should go, judging from the side and the front view. So this is something you will have to look at these references, for example, to see. So it's really a nice thing that we get this really nice reference photo that we can use to whatever we wanna do with it. So I feel like that if you look at the front, that the face might be a bit too thin around the eyes, because there should at least be one eyeball in between each section. So I think actually we should select all of this, soft select, and some of this, and just pull it out. And also these edges. So this might seem like a lot, and you will feel like, "Oh, I don't want to do this because it's a lot of work to readjust all these vertices." But the final result will get a lot better, because it will get more naturally looking. I could see that some of the proportions are as weird. That's why I'm trying to adjust. And you really don't want a bad model, especially if you're out in the business. It's really important that you make a nice model, because it will hit you in the end. You will have to redo it, and maybe the rigger will come by and say you need to change this, and it will slow down the whole process. So I think we need some more definition around the brows. If you go to the side view, I don't like that it's so flat. Right here it seems way too soft. So I'm gonna try and shape it more. I'm not quite sure about the hard edge that we get right here and up there. And it looks also weird. So I think I think you're kind of getting what I meant when I'm saying that there's a lot of tweaking. But it's not that bad. It seems like she has a lot more shape on above the eye as well than we have in our model. So if we go to the side view, I think we should, I know this is not according to the reference, but now I'm just trying to see how it would look like. I just feel that it should be a bit more like this, because this other reference looks more like that. And as if I remember right, we rotated the side view a bit, and it might be that we rotated it in the wrong way and we couldn't really get it to fit that well. So these are some of the things that you have to consider. Which way you should go with the model. By the way, I know I have some n-gons and triangles, but for now I'm just ignoring them. So I'm just trying to go back and forward between the model and the reference. I feel like I need some kind of edge here to give some more definition. So I think I'm gonna delete this one and then use the split polygon tool to cut over, to cut here. So now we have an n-gon now, and I am of course gonna fix that. So at this stage there's really a lot of tweaking. I'm not sure if I should continue tweaking or just continue shaping the model. But I mean, I think it looks like her. I think that we can also maybe make it a bit bigger or higher. Sorry. It just feels like the proportions should benefit from this. So it's really dent in here in some strange way. I mean, I don't like all the deformations that it makes, but generally I'm pretty happy with the overall look. So we will have to find out a way to get rid of this. Oops. And I'm going to use the split polygon tool in order to get rid of this. I still want to maintain the loops around the eyes. And now I have some choices because I have a triangle. I have two triangles, one here and one there. So a good idea could be to try and figure out how to combine those. So I'm gonna try and delete this. So right now I have no idea how it should be, but I'm just gonna try and see how it would work. So I know already now that this is not what I want, because this makes a really strange polygon in the middle of the brow where it will typically deform. But I mean, I like that it goes up here. So maybe if I merge these two and then just simply delete this. Yeah, I like that a lot better. So for up here, I would probably just cheat and do like this. That's the cheating way. Just so you know. The problem with this is that it's really hard to make it deform in a nice way. It can make some weird artifacts, but it's still not that bad. It's better than having a end gun. So at least you can use that as an excuse. And I mean, I could try to make the edge go all around the head, but I just feel like that would give too much, too many polygons, and that's really annoying as well. So it's really a choice you will have to make. So maybe I will use the smooth tool a bit in here. Yeah. And also I think I'm gonna flatten it a bit. And then I think we should find the eye again. I think I did hide it, so I'm just gonna show it. And I'm just gonna reshape a bit over here. And then extrude inwards. I'm gonna do it once and twice. And let's see how that looks. So that already gives a dent or a bump on the surface. So I think we need to fit this part over here a bit better. I'm gonna use the smooth tool. So if this was a model I would need for a project, I would probably use some more time tweaking. And also maybe I think I would spend some time on the ears still. They feel a bit rough. But I mean, this is something you can do on your own as well. I mean, most of these tweaks, it's really hard to follow. I'm doing it, but it's really hard for you to follow in a tutorial to do the exact same tweaks, and maybe your model will have some different stuff that you will need to tweak. So it's not easy to follow these tweaks. But the most important thing is the edge flows, and we got those in place. So we can just keep on adding and deleting and do whatever we want. And that's really awesome, and I think the way the face turned out, I really like it a lot. The next thing we're going to do is to clean it up, and then we're gonna merge the two sides and make some tweaks, because that will probably require some tweaks as well. And then we're basically done. So I'm just gonna take a short break, and then we're gonna be back with the rest of the tweaking, and it should be cool to make the last things. So see you in a moment.